1. France is the largest country in the EU and is sometimes called the Hexagon. France is the biggest country in the European Union, covering a total area of 551,695 square kilometers. Notwithstanding, it is unquestionably the third biggest country in Europe, behind Ukraine and the European part of Russia. Around a third, 31%, of France is forest, and it is the fourth most forested country in the EU after Sweden, Finland, and Spain. The nation is additionally at times alluded to as El Hexagon because of its six-sided shape. 2. France is the world's most popular tourist destination. It very well may be an ideal opportunity to perhaps look for a way to improve on your French language abilities, since France is the spot to be, as indicated by the most recent travel industry figures. An incredible 89.3 million individuals visited the country in 2018, making it the most visited objective on the planet. The nation's capital, Paris, is additionally the third most visited city on the planet, behind Bangkok and London. 3. French was the official language of England for about 300 years. It's difficult to envision that French was the official language of Britain somewhere in the range of 1066 and 1362. However, after William the Vanquisher drove the Norman triumph and resulting control of Britain in 1066, he acquainted Old English Norman French with the country. This was spoken by sovereignty, blue bloods, and powerful authorities, some of whom couldn't talk any English. In 1362, notwithstanding, Parliament passed the Arguing in English demonstration, making English the official language of government. This was on the grounds that Norman French was utilized for pleadings, yet was to a great extent obscure to the commoners of Britain, who had no information on what was being said in court. 4. Louis XIX was the King of France for just 20 minutes, the shortest ever reign. Indeed, you read it right. The French ruler just alighted shortly of regal popularity after his dad Charles X surrendered, passing on him to rise the French high position in July 1830. After this short period, Louis Antoine additionally resigned for his nephew, the Duke of Bordeaux. This makes him the shortest reigning ruler ever. He imparts the amazing record to crown sovereign Luis Felipe, who actually became Lord of Portugal after his dad was killed. Yet, he likewise died from an injury 20 minutes later. 5. Liberté, égalité, fraternité, or liberty, equality, fraternity, is the national motto. The popular motto originally showed up around the hour of the insurgency, 1789 to 1799, and was composed into the constitutions of 1946 and 1958. These days, you'll in any case see it on coins, postage stamps, and government logos, frequently close by Marianne, who represents the victory of the Republic. 6. The French army was the first to use camouflage in 1915, World War I. Presently, here's a fascinating reality about France. The word disguise really comes from the French action word signifying to compensate for the stage. This is on the grounds that the French armed force was quick to make a devoted cover unit in 1915. Firearms and vehicles were painted by specialists called camoufleurs. The next year, the English armed force went with the same pattern and laid out its own disguise area under the order of Lieutenant Colonel Francis Wyatt. It was known as the Special Works Park RE, Royal Engineers. 7. In France, you can marry a dead person. One rather stunning reality about France is that under French regulation, you can wed post-mortem in exceptional cases. This is depending on the prerequisite that you can demonstrate that the departed had the aim of wedding you while they were alive. You should likewise get authorization from the French president. The latest supported case was in 2017 when the accomplice of a gay police officer gunned down on Paris Champs-Élysées by a jihadist was conceded consent to post-mortem wed his partner. 8. The French invented tin cans, the hairdryer, and the hot air balloon. It turns out we have the French to thank for the vast majority of the valuable innovations we know and love today. For example, French designer Nicolas Appert thought of the plan to utilize fixed glass containers set in bubbling water to save food in 1809. Pierre Durand later concocted the metal can. Braille was likewise evolved by Louis Braille, who was dazed as a kid. In the meantime, Dr. René Laennec concocted the stethoscope at a clinic in Paris in 1816, and Alexander Ferdinand Godefroy licensed the world's most memorable hair dryer in 1888. The majestical sightseeing balloon was additionally spearheaded by the Montgolfier siblings Joseph and Etienne, who disclosed the world's most memorable public presentation of an untethered inflatable in 1783. 9. France was the first country in the world to ban supermarkets from throwing away food. Presently, here's a French truth to feel glad for. In February 2016, France turned into the principal country on the planet to forbid stores from discarding or annihilating unsold food. Stores should now give overflow food to food banks and good cause. Grocery stores bigger than 400 square meters that are discovered binning great quality food moving toward its best before date face strong fines of up to €75,000 or 2 years of detainment. Besides, all French grocery stores are likewise restricted from obliterating food as a method for forestalling dumpster jumpers from scavenging in trash canisters. Pleasant 1, France, 10. The first public screening of a movie was by the French Lumière in 1895. The Lumière siblings, Auguste Marie Louis Nicolas and Louis Jean, were well known for their cinematograph movie framework and the short movies they delivered somewhere in the range of 1895 and 1905. The popular pair held the world's first public film screening on December 28, 1895, at the Amazing Bistro in Paris. Their first time at the helm was La Fête des Ouvriers de l'Usine Lumière, laborers leaving the Lumière manufacturing plant. The 5-second-long highly contrasting film just showed laborers leaving the Lumière plant and left the crowd totally floored. In 1895, Louis Lumière probably said that film is a development without a future. 11. The oldest person who ever lived was a French woman named Jean-Louise Calment. The best completely verified age to which any human has at any point lived is 122 years and 164 days. Jean-Louise Calment was brought into the world in France on February 21, 1875 and kicked the bucket on August 4, 1997. She survived the kickoff of the Eiffel Pinnacle in 1889, 2 universal conflicts, and the creation of TV, the cutting-edge engine vehicle, and planes. Strangely, future for ladies in France remained at 85.3 years in 2018 and 79.4 years for men. France additionally positions 14th on the planet for daily routine hope, with people experiencing on normal until 83 years of age. 12. France legalized same-sex marriage in 2013, at the point when President François Hollande marked the bill into law on May 18, 2013, France turned into the 10th country in Europe and 14th on the planet to sanction same-sex marriage. Despite the fact that surveys at the time showed that around half of French individuals upheld it, not every person was blissful about it. As a matter of fact, a great many individuals safeguarding the purported family values rioted in fight. 13. France has more Nobel Prize winners in literature than any other country, with 15 French individuals winning the prestigious award since 1901. It's fair to say that France has produced some of the world's most influential writers and thinkers. French poet and essayist Sully Prudhomme became the first ever winner of the award that year. Among France's most celebrated poets, novelists, and writers are René Descartes, Voltaire, Charles Baudelaire, Blaise Pascal, Gustave Flaubert, and Victor Hugo. 14. Europe's highest mountain is Mont Blanc in the French Alps, standing at a level of 4,807 meters. Mont Blanc is formally the second most elevated mountain in Europe. It takes a challenging 10 to 12 hours to climb the summit. However, in the event that you're not up for that, you can require a relaxed 20-minute falter thanks to on Europe's most elevated trolley on the Clos by Aiguille du Midi to get a splendid view from the top. 15. The world's first artificial heart transplant and face transplant both took place in France. The heart transplant happened in December 2013 at the Georges Pompidou Clinic in Paris. The bioprosthetic gadget, which imitates a genuine heart's compressions, is controlled by an outer lithium particle battery and is multiple times the heaviness of a genuine organ. French specialists were likewise quick to play out a face transplant in 2005-16. The Louvre is the most visited museum in the world. With an incredible 9.6 million guests in 2019, the popular Louvre is the most visited historical center on the planet. Situated in the core of Paris, the wonderful historical center is home to around 38,000 showstoppers and relics tracing all the way back to ancient times. These incorporate the Mona Lisa, the Venus de Milo, and I.M. Pei's renowned glass Louvre pyramid which sits in the yard. Obvious, the Louvre is one of the most active spots to visit in Paris.